The history of China begins with early hominids, like Peking man, who lived about 1.7 million years ago. The development of early Chinese civilization took root along the Yellow River. This river valley is often considered the cradle of Chinese civilization. Several Neolithic cultures, including the Yangshao and Longshan, evolved in this region, laying the foundation for the emergence of Chinese society. Xia dynasty circa 2070 BCE to 1600 BCE. The Xia dynasty is traditionally considered the first Chinese dynasty, though much of what is known about it comes from ancient historical texts rather than concrete archaeological evidence. The Xia is seen as a bridge between the Neolithic cultures and the more sophisticated dynastic period that followed. This era saw the gradual rise of agriculture, bronze working, and social stratification. Shang dynasty 1600 BCE to 1046 BCE. The Shang dynasty marks the first period in Chinese history for which there are written records, particularly in the form of oracle bones used for divination. The Shang rulers created a sophisticated state with advances in metallurgy, notably bronze, urbanization, and early writing systems. This period also saw a rise in ancestral worship and rituals that would influence later Chinese culture. Zhou dynasty 1046 BCE to 256 BCE. The Zhou dynasty is divided into two periods: the Western Zhou 1046 to 771 BCE and the Eastern Zhou 771 to 256 BCE. The concept of the Mandate of Heaven was introduced during this period, suggesting that the right to rule was divinely granted but could be revoked due to misrule. The Eastern Zhou era saw the rise of influential philosophical schools, including Confucianism and Taoism. The later years of the Zhou were marked by political fragmentation during the Warring States period for 75 to 21 BCE. Qin dynasty to 21 BCE to 206 BCE. The Qin dynasty, under Qin Shi Huang, saw China unified for the first time after centuries of warfare between rival states. Qin Shi Huang centralized the administration, standardized writing, currency, and measurements, and began construction of the Great Wall to protect against northern invaders. However, the dynasty's harsh policies and heavy taxation led to its downfall after just 15 years. Han dynasty 206 BCE to 220 CE. The Han dynasty is regarded as one of the most important dynasties in Chinese history, establishing a long period of stability and prosperity. The Silk Road, connecting China with the West, was established, allowing for cultural and economic exchanges. Confucianism became the state philosophy, and major advancements were made in technology, literature, and trade. The Han period also saw the development of a bureaucratic government system that would be a model for future dynasties. Three Kingdoms period to 20 CE to 280 CE. After the collapse of the Han dynasty, China fractured into three rival kingdoms, Wei, Shu, and Wu. This era was characterized by military conflict and political intrigue. Though a short period, it left a lasting legacy in Chinese culture, particularly in literature and folklore, as chronicled in the famous novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Sui dynasty 581 CE to 618 CE. The Sui dynasty reunified China after centuries of disunity. The Sui are known for their ambitious construction projects, including the Grand Canal, which linked the Yellow and Yangtze rivers and greatly improved trade and transportation. However, the dynasty was short-lived due to overextension and oppressive labor demands, leading to rebellion and its eventual collapse. Tang dynasty 618 CE to 907 CE. The Tang dynasty is considered a golden age of Chinese culture, power, and influence. Tang China was a center of art, literature, and culture, with poets like Li Bai and Du Fu becoming famous for their works. The dynasty expanded Chinese influence into Central Asia, Korea, and Japan. Chang'an, modern-day Xi'an, the capital, became one of the largest and most cosmopolitan cities in the world. However, internal strife and rebellion, such as the Lushan Rebellion, led to its decline. Song Dynasty 960 CE to 1279 CE. The Song Dynasty is known for its economic prosperity and technological advancements, such as the invention of gunpowder, the compass, and printing. However, it was weaker militarily and lost territory in the north to the Jurchens, who established the Jin dynasty. Eventually, the Song were overrun by the Mongols in 1279, Yuan dynasty 1271 CE to 1368 CE. The Yuan dynasty was established by Kublai Khan, a grandson of Genghis Khan, marking the first time China was ruled by a foreign power. The Yuan rulers adopted many aspects of Chinese governance but maintained their Mongol identity, leading to tension between the rulers and the Chinese populace. This period saw the continued integration of China into the larger Mongol Empire and Eurasian trade routes. Ming Dynasty 1368 CE to 1644 CE. The Ming Dynasty saw the restoration of native Han Chinese rule. The Ming emperors focused on internal development, rebuilding the Great Wall and establishing the Forbidden City in Beijing. The famous voyages of Admiral Zheng He occurred during this period, expanding Chinese influence across Asia and Africa. However, the dynasty eventually fell due to corruption, internal strife, and external pressure from the Manchus. Qing Dynasty 1640 for CE to 1912 CE. The Qing Dynasty, founded by the Manchus, was the last imperial dynasty of China. It expanded China's borders to include Taiwan, Xinjiang, Tibet, and Mongolia. Despite early prosperity, the 19th century brought increasing challenges, including the Opium Wars, Taiping Rebellion, and foreign invasions, which weakened the dynasty. The Boxer Rebellion and internal dissatisfaction culminated in the fall of the Qing in 1912, ending over 2,000 years of imperial rule. Republic of China 1912 CE to 1949 CE. After the fall of the Qing, China became a republic under the leadership of Sun Yat-sen. However, the republic was marred by internal divisions, warlordism, and a growing rivalry between the Nationalist Party Kuomintang and the Chinese Communist Party CCP. Japan's invasion during World War II further weakened the country. After the war, the nationalists and communists resumed their civil war, which ended with the CCP's victory in 1949. People's Republic of China 1949 CE to present. On October 1, 1949, Mao Zedong declared the establishment of the People's Republic of China. Mao's government implemented radical social and economic reforms, such as the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, which had devastating consequences for the country. After Mao's death in 1976, Deng Xiaoping introduced market-oriented reforms that transformed China's economy, leading to rapid growth and modernization. Today China is the world's second-largest economy and a major global power. Amazing facts about China. Oldest continuous civilization. China's civilization has flourished for more than 5,000 years, making it one of the oldest continuously existing civilizations in the world. Largest population. China is the most populous country, with over 1.4 billion people, accounting for about 18% of the global population. Terracotta Army. The Terracotta Army, discovered in 1974, includes over 8,000 life-sized soldiers, horses, and chariots built to guard the tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall stretches more than 13,000 miles and was built over centuries to protect China from northern invaders. Silk Road influence. The ancient Silk Road facilitated trade between China and the West, bringing goods like silk, paper, and spices to Europe and the Middle East. Panda diplomacy. China uses giant pandas as diplomatic gifts to foster good relations with other countries, a practice that dates back to the Tang Dynasty. For great inventions, China is credited with inventing for world-changing technologies, papermaking, gunpowder, the compass, and printing. Forbidden City. The Forbidden City in Beijing is the largest ancient palace complex in the world, with 980 buildings covering 180 acres. World's largest dam. The Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River is the world's largest hydroelectric power station. Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is the largest annual migration of people in the world, as millions of Chinese travel home to celebrate with their families. Language diversity. While Mandarin is the official language, China has over 300 languages spoken, reflecting its rich cultural diversity. Tea culture. China is the birthplace of tea, and it has been a key part of Chinese culture for over 4,000 years. Diverse geography. China boasts a variety of landscapes, including deserts, mountains, rivers, plateaus, and tropical forests. From the Gobi Desert to the towering Himalayas. Fastest train. China is home to the world's fastest commercial train, the Shanghai Maglev, which can reach speeds of up to 267 miles per hour. Megacities. China has more than 100 cities with populations exceeding 1 million people, including Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. Ancient philosophies. China is the birthplace of Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism, which have shaped not only Chinese thought, but also influenced cultures across